Another thing I would just like to say, rhetoric need to be studied in high school and even some middle school and even college especially, because some of the things going on in that, from good people and bad people, or whatever side you think it is on, they use rhetoric in a interesting way. Especially with debate bros or whatever you want to call them. It's weird because they will show you a stat, they show you a study, but that's not how studies really work. And that's a lot of things. It's like average people, not average people, but people who really don't really dive into studies and whatnot. You could show them a study like this study said, and they would surface level. They're like, okay, well, I guess it's true. Now, why do you think there's so many studies on one subject? Because a lot of studies, in a sense, have problems, and that's okay. Nothing's perfect in this world, of course, but a lot of studies have problems. So when you see a study, you gotta look at the abstract, the sample size, the purpose and whatnot, and anything. But here's the thing: even all that shouldn't matter, especially in certain subjects. Never forget when Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking to Ben Shapiro, and Ben was he's anti-trans, and he was like, well, technically trans women are still men. And then, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's a scientist, by the way. He didn't take anything. He just looked at him and was like, and what's the point? Like, even if the studies say this, so what do you want to use with that study? And that's the thing about it. Even if the study is true of most things, but let's just stick to the trans. So, are you going to force them to be so-called men again? Are you going to take the dress off and be like, you have to be a man? What did that prove? And you got to really question yourself, why is people showing me this to prove what point? And that's the thing. What are people trying to prove? And does that really lead to that? Because in all honesty, technically, Black Americans commit more crime in America according to certain stats and study. Do that mean they are violent people? Does that mean we should get rid of all of them? Do that mean anything? No, it does not. It's just a stat. It's like, okay, what's the correlation? What's anything? Let's study the study. Who watches The Watchmen? I just think it's funny because people will go on there and be like, look at this study. And it's like, what's the point? What does that study mean? What is this relating to? I don't know. I don't get it.